Hi everybody, welcome back. So I asked you all on Facebook and on Instagram if you'd rather see a Sally's Beauty makeup tutorial or a drugstore haul tutorial. Drugstore tutorial. So I'm going to end up doing both because it was kind of an even split. I think a couple of you voted more towards the drugstore haul. So I have a bunch of different products here, all from the drugstore. One is from Five Below, but I mean that's less than drugstore costs. So the only thing I didn't purchase at the drugstore are my brushes, obviously, but you can use whatever brushes you have, and the eyeshadow primer. So, and I will tell you why once we get into it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and let's get started. So eyeshadow primers for me are worth the splurge. So I have the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. So I want to say it's like $23. I'm not positive. I'll leave it down below, but I think it's worth it. It makes my eyeshadow stay all day. The other option is the Urban Decay Potion Primer for your eyelids. Whatever primer works for you. Some people can use concealer and just set it with translucent powder, and that works for them. It does not work for me. It still creases. So use whatever works for you. I have two different concealers here that you definitely could use along with some translucent powder. So do what's best for you. I will try and find a drugstore eyeshadow primer that works for us oily skin gals. But as of right now, I just haven't found one. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm just going to use my finger to apply it. Next, I'm going to set it. So the eyeshadow palette that I'm choosing for today does not have a neutral shade because you know that I like to set my primer. So I'm actually just going to use my translucent powder that I'm going to set my contour with. It's the Airspun, and it just comes with this little puffy little thing. So I'm just going to set my under eyes with, or not my under eyes, my eyelids with it. Translucent powder is actually really great. You can use it for multiple different things. Again, just use whatever brush or brushes you have. I chose the NYX Ultimate Shadow Palette. It's super colorful, but I figured for spring and summer, why not? So let's see, I have not dug into this yet. So I think I'm going to go in with this yellow, maybe the softer yellow, this soft yellow, and then this orange down here, kind of mix them in and go into my crease with it. Next, I'm going to go in with a smaller blending brush. I think I'm just going to pop this darker yellow right below the first two. Okay, just a flat packing brush. I was looking for the right word. I'm just going to lay these two oranges down. Oh, that's pretty. If you wanted to make these more pigmented, I would say wet your brush first and then lay them down. I'm going to take my first blending brush and just kind of blend those together. Now we're going to go in with, let's do our brows next. So I have this Salon Perfect little quad situation happening. So here's a highlight for when you're done with your brows. You just highlight it right here. You have a lighter brown, a black, and then a darker brown. So I'm actually just going to mix these bottom two. This is actually what I started out with before I really had my technique down of filling in my brows, before I moved on to other products. Eyeshadows definitely do still work if you don't feel like spending the money on like a separate eyebrow fill-in situation. Could definitely double. Like if you had gotten a palette, like instead of this one, if you had gotten a palette that has whatever shade your brows are, you could definitely double it. I know if I don't have any brow products, I just take either the darkest brown or the closest to black I have, and I fill them in. The key also is to make sure that you blend, like look up through your mirror so that your mirror is kind of below you, like kind of angled down, and see if you have blended, because you want this to be lighter than the rest of your brow. And by lighter, I mean less filled in, more like somewhat of an ombre effect, if you like to fill in your brows that way. So when you look kind of diagonally up from the bottom, you can see if there's any like sparse areas, and to make sure that you blended it well. Next, we're going to go in with foundation. So let me just tell you, I thought I loved the CoverGirl 3-in-1 with the blue cap. No, this Maybelline has taken its place. As always, like I always say, I have oily skin. This is phenomenal. And I'm actually going to use my oversized Real Technique sponge because this is life. I love it. I love, 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 love this foundation. I'm actually doing a wear test on this for you guys as well. Concealer, I have two. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. I have the, I could be butchering this, but the Kokie. It's the Be Bright. It's Kokie. I actually found this one at Walmart. Or the Wet n Wild. I think I'm going to use the Wet n Wild just because you can find these at all Walmarts. This, the Kokie or whatever it is. Oh, it has a little elephant on it. I just now noticed that. I have not found these at all Walmarts, so I'm going to just go ahead and use the Wet n Wild one. I am in shade. It's just a photo focus. And it's cruelty free. Light Ivory is what I'm using. And then we're going to set our concealer with the Airspun. The same powder that we set our eyelids with. I believe it's $7.50, I want to say. Or $7.65. It's somewhere in there, but it's definitely worth it. It's huge. I mean, let's close it all the way. I mean, I'm 5'8", 5'9", so I don't want to say I have big hands, but I mean, I have bigger hands than a lot of petite girls, and it's as big as my palm, so if that tells you anything. I got big old man hands. Just kidding, I don't. Okay, so I'm actually just going to use the puff that it comes with. Next, let's contour. Again, you see me use this, just the Wet n Wild contour stick. This contour the nose. Now, if you're new to contouring your nose, I would not start with a stick like this. I would start with a powder. It's easier to blend away. Although this is pretty simple to blend. Okay, stop rambling. So I have two different brushes that work the same. The Morphe M460, just this kind of brush, or the e.l.f. contouring brush. Same kind of deal. So I'm actually just going to use the e.l.f. one. I actually believe they're around the same price, if you can believe it. Morphe brushes are actually very well priced. There's a lot of brushes even at the drugstore that are more than Morphe brushes are. And to be honest, there's more Morphe brushes in here than anything else. If that tells you anything. I mean, when you buy a set, the sets I know usually are like about $140 or such. But you get so many brushes in them that it's worth it to me. It ends up being like $3 or $4 per brush. Which, if you're into makeup, you know that brushes even at the drugstore are more than that. Okay, so I realized I didn't have my microphone in the beginning part of the video. So if I'm a little quiet, I'm sorry. Forgot I didn't have it on. But it's fine because we're just going to move on as if I did. So, continue to blend. I know I've talked about this before, but it's the contouring palette from the store of Five Below. And everything is 5 and below. Get it? Okay. If you are blessed with a smaller forehead, you don't have to contour your forehead as much. I am blessed with a bigger forehead, so therefore I contour it more. So, but it's fine. Let's go with blush. I'm going to use my favorite, the Flower, I forget every time what the color, Sweet Pea, PB1. Okay, highlighter. Some of us' favorite part. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Megaglow Illuminating palette. I've used it before. It's beautiful. It's in Catwalk Pink, number 320. It's just phenomenal. And I just swipe it all the way across. For setting spray, I'm just going to use the Hardcandy Longwear Sheer Envy Setting Spray. It's fade resistant, humidity protection, 12-hour longwear, and hydration. So I'm going to do 3 different combinations. For lipstick, I'm going to use 2 Maybellines. One is 755 Nude Thrill. It's in a bold. And the other one is 760 Gone Grise. I don't know. They're the ones with the blue caps. So one is a darker brown and one is a lighter nude. Alright, now I'm going to go in with the lighter. Just hit the center and just blend those together. So it almost just gives you like an ombre effect. I feel like I've said that a lot in this video, have I? I don't know. Okay, on top, I'm going to put the Wet n Wild. It's the Megalast Liquid Catsuite. Okay, that's pretty. I like it. Let's see. Okay, mascara. Going to use my favorite, the Voluminous Lash Paradise by Loreal. Have you ever wondered why we have to keep our mouth open while we put mascara on? Like you're watching me put it and I'm like, I can't help it. Does anybody else leave their mouth open when they're putting on mascara? I do. It happens. Alright, so this is the finished result. It doesn't cost a lot of money to make your face look glamorous. Even more glamorous than you already do when you wake up. So I will leave everything that I use linked down below. Again, I will try and find a drugstore eyeshadow primer that I think will be beneficial to everyone, but also for the oily gals whose eyeshadow just will crease right off if you don't use a good one. But keep in mind the skincare and the primers that you use definitely do make or break your makeup. And I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you will never miss another fun time with yours truly. And stay beautiful, stay kind, and stay humble. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.